Hi everyone, welcome to another lesson. In fact, this is lesson 2 of a 28-part series, so I'm looking forward to taking you through it. Don't worry, 28 might seem like a big number, but these sessions are short, they're sweet, they're to the point. So this is based on the book, Service Advisor 101, the best 30-minute investment you can make in your career today. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, I have added another page to this book, and let me just show it to you here. It appears on page 4, which is how to use this book in the most effective manner. And it talks about, well, you can see for yourself if you wish by scanning this QR code just here, or just simply going onto YouTube and searching for my YouTube channel, Service 101, and you will find everything you need there. Again, optimizing the use of this book, getting the most out of it for you, for your department, for your manager, for your customer, for your family, for everyone that you're involved with is my goal. And having access to that quick, short 8-minute video will allow you to get the most value out of it. Okay, so we're moving on to element 1, the second part of it, which is high performing service advisors have high levels of self-motivation. Okay. High performing service advisors are eager beavers. They are very motivated. Some are intrinsically motivated, whilst others are extrinsically motivated. Intrinsically motivated service advisors do what they do for personal satisfaction. Extrinsically motivated service advisors are driven by external rewards, which are mostly aligned with financial incentives and tangible benefits. For clarity, neither type of motivation is better than the other. However, there are some short term and long-term returns for both. So what does this mean? Again, the purpose of these videos is to break down what exactly I'm talking about here so that you can get the best out of it and the most out of it and hit the ground running. So to be an eager beaver is someone who's enthusiastic, someone who wants to be the best, someone who wants to be in the top percentile, right? So they are motivated. You are motivated because you're watching this video probably in your own time, and you're also reading this book, which I really appreciate. Some are intrinsically motivated, whilst others are extrinsically motivated. Now, let me explain what that means. So, a question I often ask people in coaching sessions is, what gets you out of bed in the morning? What gets you out of bed in the morning? And how they answer that is, well, it defines their level of motivation. Again, if I scroll back up here, Simon Sinek, I refer to him here in Start With Why. So Simon Sinek wrote a book called Start With Why, and I have it here, and that's what it looks like. It's an interesting book. My advice would be to check out the YouTube video for it. It was a TED Talk way back in 2009, I believe, but it would just cause you to think a little bit differently. And again, that's the purpose of this book, is to cause you to think and cause you to increase your performance. So intrinsically motivated people get out of bed in the morning, or are motivated by just being good at what they do. Just being good at what they do. It's like a footballer who plays with the exact same team from his early days all the way through to his retirement, because he doesn't really care about the money. He cares about the alignment. He cares about the values. He cares about the fans and the customers, if you will, of that team. Now, on the other side of the coin, and again, I can stay here with football as well. You've got extrinsically motivated people, and extrinsically motivated people are those who chase rewards, bonuses, financial incentives, and tangible benefits. Whether it's a specific car or a specific prize at the end of it, they're motivated by, don't get me wrong, being the best, but they're chasing a carrot, if you will. They're chasing a result, as opposed to being just naturally motivated to be great at what they do. They're chasing something to align to their performance or align to what their personal goals are. Again, for clarity, as it says here, neither type of motivation is better than the other. However, there are different short-term and long-term returns for both. And what I mean there is that if a service advisor is intrinsically motivated to provide excellent customer service repeatedly, it won't just be for a month to get an NPS score, to get a CSI score, to get a reward in a financial or a tangible incentive. They will get it continuously because they intrinsically or internally care so much for their customers. Now, don't get me wrong. In service departments, you're only as good as your last month, because we work for 20 work days or 22 work days or 30 days in the month. We work for that snippet of time, and then it resets. And it's horrible, right? Again, we all experience it. It's horrible. But the advisor that's been working in the same dealership for a long time, collecting customers, genuinely cares. They genuinely care. And it's not about the money. It's not about the stardom. It's not about the accolades. It's about the personal satisfaction that they get by someone leaving happy, by someone wanting to come back and see them again and again. Now, again, you can have a mix of both in here as well. You can have a mix of both. If I'm honest, there's certain things that I'm motivated from a tangible or incentive perspective. But I also do things for personal satisfaction. I also do things because I love to help people, specifically in this role. You probably know that by now if you've been following me for a while. I want to make this industry better. I want you to be equipped with strategies and approaches that cause your life to be, I wouldn't say easier, but I would say more refined and more strategized. And if you get value from this, guys, I would appreciate it if you shared it with one of your colleagues. Okay? But like I said in the other videos that I have produced, which you hopefully you've seen already, they're in the reflection pages. How do you rate your daily level of self-motivation? How do you rate your daily level of self-motivation? So what gets you out of bed in the morning? How motivated are you? Are you happy-go-lucky? Are you always trying to be the best at what you do, or are you just kind of in lulls and or even plateauing? Again, you cannot expect your manager to come out to you every day and go, "Fired up, guys, let's go, yeah, big clap." Yeah, don't get me wrong. Are they useful once a week or once a month? Absolutely. But there needs to be that self-motivation as well. You are an adult, you are a professional, you are bringing home an income, you are representing a company and a brand, but ultimately you're representing yourself. So coming across in a motivated fashion as opposed to the polar opposite, and we've all seen the polar opposite, but it's important that we represent ourselves appropriately. So if you score yourself low in this, in self-motivation, and you're like, oh, this is hard, oh, I'm not really sure this is what I want to do in the future, there are opportunities for you to increase your rating in that area. I've worked with service advisors who've been doing the job longer than I've been alive. I've worked with service advisors who are doing the job less than a month. But wherever you are in your career right now, you got to remember the good days, and you got to consider the days that have caused you a little bit of grief and a little bit of strife. Those are the learning days. Those are the learning days. And I've had plenty of those in my time, plenty of them. It's important to remember, guys, that we're here to serve customers. We're here to represent ourselves and the brand in an appropriate way, but we're also here to make money. I implore you to consider how you can level up your level of motivation. Again, it's not just all about the end of month. It's not just about the next year. It can be about a bigger picture, the next 2 to 5 to 10 year plan for you and your personal growth. Will you still be at your current dealership in 2, 5, 10 years? Who knows? Again, based on the churn numbers that I've read and seen, there's a likelihood that you may not. But that said, this industry rewards motivated and driven individuals. And I sincerely believe that you are highly likely one of those. And from there, it's important that you knuckle down and realize that, gosh, there are opportunities in this industry. Your manager has likely been either a technician or a service advisor before they've got into that role. Highly, highly likely, 99.9% likelihood. And they were motivated enough, or they were handed the baton because they were ready for it, or maybe they weren't, to accelerate in their career and take their team, take their department to the next level. Again, nobody's born knowing how to be a service advisor. No one's born knowing how to be a service manager. But it's important that we are leveraging that self-motivation to get better every single day and not just staying the same. You've probably heard me say this before, but a service advisor is probably the most soft skills diverse role on the planet. We communicate with people for good news, bad news, hardships, happiness, invisible things. It's a challenging role, and you know that. But it's important to consider, what are 3 things that I could do today to increase my rating of self-motivation? And a lot of that can be counseled or talked through with your manager. So, as I've said previously, it's important that you put today's date when you do rate yourself and these 3 things, because you could look back at yourself in a year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time, whether you're in the same position you're in now, or whether you're in management, or whether you're in a different area of the business, or whether you are at a different dealership, and you can remember, gosh, that was a tough time. Gosh, I'm glad I went through that. Gosh, I've learned a lot since then. It's important to be growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. And I implore you to consider how you can improve this rating today. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the next video.